All right, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what a class in general looks like, and then specifically what the class looked like for Monday, November 2nd and Tuesday, November 3rd for daily algebra. And that is the class that meets every day for 90 minutes, which is why we have a 2-day module. And that class has 34 students in it. And so you can see that how we start every day is with a watch this first. And it's going to be very close to what you're watching right now. What I do is talk through the module, explain what our objectives are, and really go through what the students need to be looking for. What are the big ideas? What are the assignments that are due? And what's upcoming? So for this particular Watch This First, I went through and talked about what our objectives were. We're at the end of a chapter, so we're reviewing, and these are our 3 big ideas. To be able to determine if a relation is a function, to be able to evaluate a function using function notation, and be able to identify the domain and range of a function. So at this point, students have had 1, if not 2, individual lessons on each one of those topics. We've had some homework, we've had some practice, we've had Zoom opportunities, and now we're kind of pulling it all together. So what I explained to the students is that our next section was watch and complete these notes. And I had a paper here that students had to print off. That's not normally the case. Normally the case, they are using their notebooks that they picked up from the bookstore at the beginning of the year. But what I did was go through and look at all of the Math Excel assignments that the students had completed over these topics. And I came up with the frequently most missed questions. And those very carefully mirrored the most asked questions in our Zoom meetings. And what I did was created a paper for them to print out of Math Excel type questions, and then gave them the opportunity, this kind of scaffold this and said, if you feel that you're good, go ahead and do the paper first, and then watch these videos. Each one of these videos deals with a segment of the paper. If you feel that you're still in that stage where you're learning and practicing, then take the paper and watch the videos and complete the paper at the same time. So that was the first thing that students had to do on November 2nd and 3rd as that part of the agenda. Moving along in the module, I talked to them about their assignments. And so that was our next thing. And our assignments are due on the day of the test. Now, I give them due dates as we go along, but that is the time where I convert those points over into PowerSchool in the grade book. So I'm assessing them, and I'm looking at those formative things as we go along, but I'm giving the students the opportunity to go back and to change and adjust, and if they've missed something, go back and complete it. And that Friday, November 6th at midnight is the one it's absolutely must be completed by when I transfer it over. These are a list over here of our Math Excel assignments that we have done, and there is a new one on there today also. And so basically we have 3 different types of assignments that I'm giving the students in Math Excel. This one here is in red is homework. We have multiple attempts at homework. We have where we can go back and ask for similar questions. You can ask for help. It mirrors the lesson that they see in the videos very closely. So those are usually the first day that we see the concept, they get a homework assignment in Math Excel. They then for the chapter, I take those homework assignments and average them, and that becomes their average homework grade for that particular chapter. this right here, we see that after they've practiced a little bit with homework and maybe day 2, day 3 of the concept, then they're taking a quiz on it. The quiz is similar to the homework. It doesn't have as many attempts. You cannot ask for help as many times on it. So it's kind of like streamlining it, getting it ready for the test. And then I take those quiz scores and I average those, and those go in PowerSchool, and that becomes that Chapter 4 quiz average grade. The last homework that they have would be the homework that they would have been given November 2nd and November 3rd, which is the Chapter 4 review test homework. This is a standalone grade, and the reason why that is that this very closely mirrors what the Chapter 4 test is going to be like. So to motivate them to be able to do well on the test, to be able to complete the review, I make it a standalone assignment so that it's a natural weighted assignment, and that they'll take it seriously and go back and do that problem and redo those problems to get the best score that they can on the review, so it prepares them for the test. Moving along in the module, if we need help, you can see that we have plenty of Zoom sessions here. And so I've combined Zoom sessions with my algebra and my daily algebra class. And so these are the times that, after working with students, seem to work best with them. So you can see that each day of the week here, we have 2 sessions. So here's our Monday sessions, our Tuesday, our Wednesday, and our Thursday. There is not a session on Friday this week because Friday is our test. And so what I do is, during the test time, I just sit on the Zoom, on my personal Zoom room, and if students are having questions, then they can, like, what are the test questions about the directions on the test, or if they're having tech problems, then they could jump on and ask me. So that's what I do for my Zoom time on the test day. These sessions are very much question and answer, because we have all my content is on pre-recorded videos, and so they are really liking that they can stop and start and replay those. I'm trying to make those videos very efficient in time and content, so that they're not overwhelmed with the length of them or with too many concepts in one particular video. So this right here, when we go to Zoom, is really just them bringing their questions to me and the other students. They can ask me a question, unmute themselves and ask me a question. They could type it in their chat room. We're at the point now where we have a lot of problems that we are looking at that have the, we're looking at graphs for domain and range. And so they will need to very often share their screen to be able to show me the problem that they're looking at in Math Excel, so that I know that I'm answering the correct question. And so I would just finish up with, saying that we know that our last thing that we would follow up with is that our test is on Friday, which will be November 6th. They'll check back that day for the module. That'll be the next day that there's a new module, and the test directions and everything will be in there. In addition to this, I have some students that are a little bit ahead, and so I've reached out to those students individually, and I have like an additional almost enrichment for them to do, because they have completed everything already that are the basic requirements for this chapter. So kind of just giving them a little bit deeper dive into the material. All right, please let me know if you have any questions. I hope that you found this helpful.